top 10 Xbox Game Pass single-player games to play for those times when you need a little alone time and you want to get lost, well, by yourself. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. If you are grabbing Game Pass, consider using my affiliate link in the video description, as it'll take you to the Microsoft Store and it supports all the exciting content. So first up, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's an adventure that literally feels as though it never ends. If you really are into this style of Assassin's Creed, it just goes on and on as you explore these absolutely massive, sprawling landscapes that are filled to the brim with weird adventures, side quests, main missions, enemies, mythical creatures, weird adventures, sailing, exploring. You really can just lose possibly hundreds of hours of your life into this one. It is a little insane. Not as insane as the Wasteland is in Fallout New Vegas, a game where you can really make your own sort of individual and enjoy what this post-apocalyptic, well, little, not necessarily bomb-dropping location, but anyways, it's a world where you really are shaping and shifting the landscape of where everything will go, and it actually leans way for some really exciting replay value if you want to go in and try some different scenarios. This one is all of the Fallout action you know and love, with deep choices that directly impact where everything is going to end and land up by the end of your weird adventure out here. But yeah, you can also blast things, meet interesting characters, go out on the town and the strip and have a great time in Fallout New Vegas, a game that you really can find yourself just getting lost in, well, all by yourself, which is the theme of the day. And that also brings us to the Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. So this is one where you can play it from a vanilla perspective and spend however many hours going and gallivanting across the landscape and then possibly doing it all over again later on. Or you can also throw some mods on and go even further. There's even anniversary content that takes that original experience from the original experience that was added to with the special edition, and then the anniversary stuff adds more to that. So it's an adventure that just really does feel way too large. Not only in the sense that, you can kind of replay it and, do different stuff. There's also just a ton of really exciting story-based content for you to enjoy. Strange characters, companions, goals, missions, environmental elements. There's a lot to this game. It's absolutely padded, and there is a reason that people continuously play Skyrim. It's because it is something that you yourself can completely get engaged and lost in, with deep role-playing mechanics that just seem endlessly fun and engaging. Which brings us to Dishonored, which is a bit of a tighter solo experience with elements of stealth and also a little bit of decision making in terms of just how the world will shape based on, well, how crazy you choose to get out there, unleash these otherworldly type abilities in your, I guess you would say, heroic and or dynamic quest in order to do what you feel is right for the particular situation that has arose, with your character being sort of thrown into the middle of a bit of a guardian crisis. And yeah, like I said, it really does allow you to kind of play it how you would like to, and by doing so, that will directly alter the end state of the situation of what's going on in this one. And it is really interesting to see that kind of all play out, to have that control over the narrative, but also have that control over the different situations that you aim to tackle across this really interesting solo experience. Which, speaking of long-term solo experiences, Pentiment is a delightful throwback role-playing game that is incredibly lengthy, incredibly exciting, really intricate, and very different. This is for a particular niche type of gamer out there, but if you do like this game and you do get into it, it is absolutely fascinating because it tells decades long story of this town where you are basically helping to sculpt the investigation into these murders over time, and you really are the driving force at the center of how this town shapes over decades. And it's truly unique. It truly feels quite dynamic by the end of all your decision making and choices. And it's such an intricately cool title. I really do love Pentiment. It's so cool. You know what else is cool? Yakuza. You could really go with all of them. I've thrown Kiwami 2 on here because I quite enjoy that one. But yeah, these are long, intense, dripping with emotion and drama-filled stories of excitement where you can basically go in and be really serious and, you know, figure out the plot and deal with betrayals and surprises and all that crazy stuff. Or you can kind of just sit aside and do really silly, zany, like, side missions. Like, it's kind of almost ridiculous, the range of content within this one. Seriously, you go from, like, really dramatic with the rain pouring down and everyone being like, I can't believe you did that, to, like, kind of shooting movies or, you know, catching weird people or eating food at places and taking photos with people at places. It's got everything. Oh, and there's karaoke too. This is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the first of an upcoming sequel down the road. This is a really intense, I call it ASMR, the video game type of scenario. Pop in some headphones and have yourself a good night of playing this really emotionally driven, intensive game where it is more focused on story with bouts of combat and also some light puzzle elements along the way as you kind of figure out what exactly is going on in a shifting and dynamic world where there are otherworldly things and your character is basically having this, I guess you would say, like a bit of a breakdown to a degree, but yeah, there's definitely some deeper things here with a very interesting lead character in a time where you wouldn't really see this sort of thing, you know, explore this concept of what's going on. I'm trying to also not spoil things for some of these games for those that haven't played them, but yeah, this is a very beautiful, cinematic-driven experience that you really can just throw on some headphones and get lost in for a while. It's quite majestic. And this is Quantum Break, where you are breaking time, a Remedy adventure where, well, you are enjoying a heavy narrative segment with elements of choice that directly impact the overall scope of where everything goes, and you just get some really, really cool abilities as time goes by. Seriously, you get to manipulate time by doing like freezes or, you know, setting up bullets to attack or doing all these other really cool things. Yeah, Quantum Break is a very interesting, well put together game. And if you do want some more relaxed gameplay, there actually are these cinematic segments that you can download and sort of enjoy between the certain acts in order to help get more background story and context into what's going on. So this is something where it's like the more time you spend with it, the more you get out of it. But yeah, Quantum Break is a very interesting and well put together experience, and it's right on par with those great Remedy titles that you probably know of or maybe should be exploring for the first time. And Dead Space 2 is a bit of a spooky solo time where you will be going in and trying to survive and also figure out what all the crazy things that are happening are all about. It's FPS boosted, which is quite nice. And yeah, I think this is a horror title that actually does hold up extremely well. You can play through the series. It's quite an interesting and spooky and unsettling setup across the different games. I mean, this one is, you know, obviously the first one, totally solo. This one is solo too, but there was like some multiplayer stuff, but you know, that's not really functional at this point. And then if you go to the third one, it's like it can be cooperative. But this one in particular is a good solo experience with really, really unsettling moments, limbs that you can shoot off into the distance towards other moving things, and it's unsettling. It really is. It's a good horror title for the selection. And that brings us to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So this is actually a combination of the three great Mass Effect games in one awesome combined trilogy package. It is a long time to spend alone, but are you alone when you have great companions and thrilling narrative and engaging story and intrigue and, you know, monstrous enemies and foes? You tell me, but I know that the Mass Effect series is a grand time that you can explore across three great games in this trilogy and really craft your own unique Shepard across that adventure. It's a great time. The Mass Effect games are absolutely awesome. So again, be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well, and if you are grabbing Game Pass in order to enjoy some quality alone time, consider using that affiliate link again, as it does support the content. But I think whether you're going from Mass Effect to anything else, there is a lot of solo great times to be had down the road if you jump into them.